What's going on, everybody? This is Jordan from Adelante's Diverse IT, and today I hope to simplify a new solution. I wanted to look at some senior dating sites today. I know that with the pandemic and just this being an ever-changing environment, trying to see people in person or any type of kind of contact can be challenging. So I want to take a look at some senior dating sites that are available for you. So whether you're newly dating or divorced, a single parent, or someone who's never really been in a relationship, there are plenty of options available for you to try. Let's look at some online dating sites for singles 50 and over. So with this one, the first thing that I'm hoping, there's again some of the key takeaways that I always like to provide you with after this class. I'm hoping that you know what are some senior dating sites, how to search for dating site reviews. How does the site include a smartphone app? So is this something that's only accessible online, or can you use it through your smartphone? How to join a single dating site, and a few tips to protect yourself, okay? So what are senior dating sites? Online dating can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Whether you're looking for a new relationship, someone for a fun date, or someone to simply chat with, senior dating sites can be a new, exciting way to connect with others. You may have been comfortable with kind of some of the social media platforms, things to that effect, but this is similar to that, but a little bit more enhanced and a little more specific to dating, love, friendships, those type of things. So senior dating sites continued. What has made COVID-19 again has made many means of connecting with others incredibly challenging. Senior dating sites may be a good place for someone to meet new people and fulfill their need for social interaction. I hope this video will encourage you to try something new by joining a senior dating site and seeing what it's like if you're out there and single and want to get to know some more people. So let's start first with what I'm going to say is just a general browser search. In my general browser search, I'm going to go ahead and search, and I'm going to share my screen as we're doing this. But I want to go ahead and just do a search in your browser for senior dating sites. Now, in my particular browser, I'm going to be using Google Chrome, and I've already actually typed that into my browser. So here we are. We have senior dating sites, and the first couple things that I actually want you to keep in mind is that the first 4 items here are advertisements. You can kind of tell by this black little tiny ad in the top left corner of each link there. So that's something that someone has paid there for that result to be above your actual search results. I'm not saying that these results aren't real companies. I'm not saying that they're not something that you might actually be looking for, but I really want you to keep in mind that these are advertisements and they've been paid to be placed there at that time. It's up to you whether or not that's the information that you're looking for. But today, I kind of wanted to just know what is out there. So if we take a look at what is out there, you'll see some of the senior dating sites that are available. And underneath the advertisements, you'll see that there's a brief summary that is provided. That summary is an aggregate from a recent article that Google is able to locate on the web there. And within that article, it looks like it found a listing of 8 or 10 items that are there. I'm going to read through some of these briefly, but it's kind of a convenient summary of information without you having to dig through all these articles and read through each one to get the information that you're looking for. So in this particular one, it references eHarmony, Match.com, OkCupid, OurTime.com, Silver Singles, Senior Match, Elite Singles, Zoosk, just to name a few there. So that's pretty cool. Some of them I may have heard of. Some of them I think I've seen commercials for. So let's just kind of take a look at that again here briefly. Senior dating sites, where do we start? Since our first part of our Google search of senior dating sites gave us several options or recommendations, we can do one of two things. We can continue to either go into that article that provided us with the summary, or we can look for additional articles that might be speaking specifically about OkCupid or Match.com. The reason I think that information is valuable, but kind of take also with a grain of salt, is that generally is one individual's response or opinion about these. What I am personally a fan of is this a second option where we're going to Google the name of whatever company that we're looking for, and we're going to include the word review after the site name. So for this particular video, I'm going to go ahead and show you what that particular looks like. We're going to start with OurTime.com, and then I'm going to put review, in our search field, as well as I'm also going to put 2021. That kind of gives us some reviews from 2021, since they may have been around for longer than just recent year. So let's take a look at what that looks like when we go and do a review like that. First thing I want you to notice is similar to our senior dating sites, the very first options in Google are going to be ads. I'm not using an ad blocker on this computer, so again, just pay attention to what you're looking at, because you'll see that there are ads included in here. Those are, again, paid placements in your search result. Doesn't mean that's not the company that you're not looking for. I just need you to keep that in mind. But you'll see here that it looks like our time reviews for March 2021. It looks like we have another one of those kind of brief summaries here that Google has provided to us. I'm going to click on this Dating Scout piece here and see what the categories are. Looks like they have 5 categories, a brief kind of overall description there of some of the services, and whether or not this kind of allows you to make a quick review of it. So in their Our Time March review for 2021, in this particular Dating Scout site, it's a dating site that caters to singles 50 and over, has a larger user base, available on both iOS and Android. Most features require a paid subscription. That's good to know. No identity verification process. That's kind of good to know. Emerged with Senior People Meet in 2019. So that might have been another company that was very similar to them. But what I do want to point out is they have this 5 points that it looks like they're using for grading each particular company. Their 5-point rating system looks to be from 0 to 5, with 0 being the worst and 5 being the best. And the 5 categories they're using to rate each company is going to be signing up. So how easy is it for you to sign up? Making contact, is that going to be real and true? Profile quality, I think that's kind of that's dependent on the user, garbage in, garbage out. But if you make a quality profile, are they saying, are the people going to engage with it? Is it easy for you to update, make changes to, accept, etc.? Is there an application available? So is it available on iOS or Android? And then real life reviews. So each one of those are giving 5 categories with a 0 to 5 score for each one. And just briefly looking at it, for ourtime.com, signing up received a 4.0 out of 5. Making contact was 3.5 out of 5. That probably has something to do with most of those features having to do with paid subscriptions. That's probably why more users are saying it's a little more challenging. Profile quality, 4.5 out of 5. Application, they're saying the Android or iOS application is pretty handy, so that's going to be a 4.0 out of 5. And then a real life review, are people making connections? That got looks like a pretty high score of 4.5 out of 5. Okay, so that kind of gives me some more information about this particular company. So most of which I didn't have to gather by reading too much. I just did a little bit of Google searches. Let's take another one that was on this list there. I had another one called Silver Singles. So let's do that same exact search. The Google search Silver Singles Reviews 2021 and see what that looks like. Again, our first couple of results in Google are going to be paid advertisements. You'll see a couple other articles that are dedicated to it. I want to look at that Dating Scout because that's actually where I got that same kind of information before, and it gave us those 5 categories. So in Dating Scout, Silver Singles, dating site over for 50. Matches based on personality compatibility. Photos are only viewable for paying members. That's kind of whack. Who doesn't want to be able to see who you might talk to, especially in 2021? Important features like chat messaging are not free, so that sounds kind of not too fun either. I could see some challenges to this particular site. Let's take a look at their ratings. So signing up, they got a 4.0 out of 5. Making contact, users gave them a 3.5 out of 5. Profile quality, users received a 4.0 out of 5. Application, they got a 4.0 out of 5. And real life review, 4.0 out of 5. So not exactly the highest scores. Definitely didn't beat ourtime.com, but it wasn't substantially lower. However, if I'm going to use the 2 brief reviews, I'm more drawn towards ourtime.com. So let's navigate to ourtime.com and see what account creation looks like. We can browse to ourtime.com by either A, going to our browser and searching ourtime.com, or we could go to the address bar and just type in ourtime.com. I'm just going to go ahead, use the search field because that's something I like to do. So ourtime.com. We're now there. You notice that now here's an example where the advertisement is in one of those search results. Since that is what I'm looking for, although it does say ad, I am going to go ahead and click on it. Still relevant to what I'm looking for. And you'll see that their website is kind of split into three main areas. We have the header or the top section of our site. This has a link for the members login. Then we have a middle section here. This is where it says sign up for free. Provides a drop-down menu to ask what type of people you are looking for, and then a big blue button that says search now. This is going to allow us to start to search in our area. And we have another lower portion of the section called below the fold. You'll see it's an an advertisement for both their Google Play and their Apple iOS application. They just want you to know that this is also available on the App Store for your particular use. For us, we want to go ahead and continue with our registration. So let's click the Search Now button. And in Search Now, it's going to take us to a new window. That window is going to be a pop-up. It's going to ask us, tell us more about ourselves. It's asking us to pick where our location or country. We're in the United States. It's going to ask us about our zip code. I'm going to say that is my zip code. I'm going to make up a fake name here. Looking for love. BBQ, and then my password. It doesn't like that. My username has a password or a number in it. Your browser may ask if you want to save it. Then I ask you for your date of birth. You can go ahead and put your date of birth. Again, it needs to be over 50 if you're going to be using one of these. And then it finally is going to ask you for your email, so you can go ahead and confirm your email. Once that piece has been confirmed, you then should be able to start to browse for seeing this. Okay, so now our account is created. We generally would be able to go ahead and set up a profile. The following steps are not specific to ourtime.com, but these are steps we encourage to take once the account has been created. So once your account is created, you will then want to begin to set up your personal profile. This may include adding a picture, beginning to talk about your history and your interests. Don't be afraid to brag about yourself and your accomplishments. This is how people can see if they're interested in you or not in you. But we don't need to flood them with too much information or your life story. Trust me, if people are interested, they are going to ask you. So often, much like salt in cooking, less is more. But now, this is the type of things I encourage you to do when you're setting up your profile there. Have fun with it. Don't bore them with so much information that you wouldn't want to read it. And just make sure that it is you, because it's your opportunity for really getting out there to know somebody. So the next piece that we have here, senior dating sites. Now we got our account created. We have our profile created. I do want to leave you with a few tips to protect yourself. So meeting new people is exciting, but you should always be cautious when interacting with someone you don't know. Use your best judgment, use your guts, use your antenna, use your stomach. I mean, these are all natural inklings that luckily we will use to protect ourselves. And this is going to be exactly true in an online format too. So use your best judgment, put your safety first. And when you are exchanging initial messages or in meeting in person, again, put your safety first. While you can't control the actions of others, there are things you can do to help you stay safe during your senior dating experience. Some of those key tips that I definitely think that you should keep in mind is never send money or share financial information. You're trying to find friends right now. We're not trying to find bankers. We're not trying to find financial consultants. We're not trying to pay somebody else's rent. We're trying to find some rent from some friends in this particular situation. So that generally, if it's asking for anything money or financial institutions, should be a great big warning sign that this is probably not something you want to be involved in. Again, same as like with your medical information, you want to protect your personal information. A lot of people are trying to use or manipulate the people on these sites by actually preying on people's loneliness by hoping that they divulge information that you normally wouldn't want to. That's called social engineering. So just protect your personal information. You wouldn't go to the doctor and give the person sitting next to you all your personal information because you guys are in the same hospital. So just because you're now on the same website with somebody else doesn't mean that you should just start giving them all your information. I suggest that you stay on the platform, whatever that platform is using when you're engaging and getting to know somebody. If they try to get you to go to a different platform, you don't know the security of it, you don't know the intentions of it, you don't know what you're clicking on or who you're clicking with. So safety first. One of the easiest ways to keep yourself safe is keep yourself contained in that own little platform. In this particular case, would be ourtime.com. So be wary of long distance and overseas relationships. As my dad used to say, if they can't find it at home, I mean, that you might be the special one across the other side of the world, but more likely there's something wrong with them, and that's why nobody's messing with them at home either. So be wary of long distance relationships or overseas relationships. They might be the one, but a lot of times these are, again, people just trying to prey on people's loneliness so they can get you to do social engineered actions, either divulge personal information or financial information. So always report all suspicious or offensive behavior. This might not be an isolated incident. You never know who else you might be protecting by sharing that information. This might be an aggregate of information, so now that they can go ahead and take some actions against this individual. So by you keeping it to yourself does not make it valuable. And protect your account information. Shouldn't have to share your screen name. You shouldn't have to screen your profile or your password. Same as with your email, your banking information. This is your personal information, not somebody else's. So keep that to yourself, please. So let's take another look at another scenario here. Your online dating site has been going great, and now the individual wants to meet in person. There's a few more tips I want you to protect yourself when you're meeting in person. First one is don't be in a rush. There's no need to rush this process. It's the same as if you're trying to develop an in-person friendship when you're at school, at work, anything else. It might sound fun, it might sound cool, it might be exciting. We still don't need to rush it. Just make sure that you keep your safety at the forefront of what is going on, and hopefully everything will work out just fine for you. If you do want to continue with that meeting, make sure you meet in a public place and stay in a public place. This could be a mall, this could be a library. I'm not too big of a fan of a mall because there are people always like traveling and moving and walking fast in these environments. And it's kind of harder for me to discern, like, are you in a rush or, so the library, if you're like rushing out of a library, that's going to cause like a disturbance or look a little bit different. So just be wary of what that public place is and make sure you stay in the public place. That way you can hopefully use the public pressure to keep yourself safe. Always tell your friends and family about your plans. That's just kind of a given. That way, if something does go wrong, people know when or where to check on you or how to get a hold of you or what steps to take in the event they feel something is not going right. Always be in control of your transportation. This is another thing that will allow you to keep yourself safe. If you jump in somebody else's car, then you're kind of at the whim of where they're going next and what that next stop might be. So I highly encourage you to say, no, I'll follow you there, or my Uber will follow you there, or something to that effect. That way you're more in control of when you can leave, where you can go, and everything associated with that. I encourage you to know your limits. When you are in a dating scenario for seniors, for anybody, you may want to go out and have some food and drinks. Just make sure that you don't overdo it, because that, again, could be something that unintentionally inhibits your safety. So we're trying to keep safety at the forefront in all of these scenarios. So please just know your limits in that regard. I wouldn't leave drinks or personal items unattended. Again, this is because there's an individual you may or may not know, and you might not know what their actual true intentions are. I would hate for your safety to be compromised because you left either your drink out or some of your personal items, such as your cell phone or something else. Just try to keep yourself safe. This is a new situation. It might be fun, it might be exciting, but again, it can easily go wrong in any moment. And lastly, if you feel uncomfortable at any moment, leave. This is not something you're obligated to. There's plenty of friends in the sea. There's plenty of fish in the sea. There are plenty of dating sites out there. So this is not your all ending in interaction with somebody. If you're not comfortable with what's going on, leave. And then you can explain it to them why you had to leave later or never talk to them again. It's called ghosting. We do it all the time. But honestly, just leave. It will keep you safe, and then you can deal with the consequences and repercussions of that later. So hopefully you now are kind of a little bit more familiar with what some of the senior dating sites are, how to search for dating sites and their reviews, whether or not the site has a smartphone application, how to join that dating site. So there's going to be a little bit of a process, registration that you'll probably have to complete. And then lastly, a few tips on how to protect yourself both online and in person. Once again, my name is Jordan from Adelante's Diverse IT. I hope I simplified another solution today for you by taking a look at some senior dating sites. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.